Hi, this is Aaron Tippler with Tippler's Travels, and we're going to go over my gear list for what I'm taking on my 2021 through hike attempt at the Appalachian Trail. We're going to go over this pretty quick. I'm going to go through my gear, going to go over a few questions people sent me, and just some general talking points for why I'm hiking the trail this year. So first off, we're going to go through my gear, which first we'll start with my backpack. So I've been a bit of a gear nut. I've tried several different packs, and between the Z packs and the Hyperlight mountain gear, I enjoy both the packs. I end up sticking with the HMG pack for this particular hike, and so I got the 3400. So there's just the right amount of space. So what I'll do is we'll go through my stuff. We're gonna load it in. We're gonna weigh it, and we'll see what my base weight is. I know it's not super light, but it works for me. So first off, sticking with the lightweight stuff, is I got the Z-Packs duplex tent. The reason why I do a duplex is because I like that little extra room for myself. And a pound and a half, it's worth that little extra bit of weight for me to have that extra room. I've had single person tents before, and I just like a little bit more room on the inside to move around. So first thing. Second off, we'll go through my sleep system. Keep it pretty simple-ish. Inside this bag is a Enlighten Equipment 20-degree down quilt. I went with the quilt because it's more versatile than a regular sleeping bag. It has an open back to it because your sleeping pad's going to take up that insulation property that you'd lose by smashing the insulation by laying on it. So 20-degree quilt. And then I also went with the Nemo Tensor insulated sleeping pad. I've actually had this one for a couple of years. I really enjoy it. It's no longer as crinkly as it was when I first got it, so that's nice. And then I do have a sleeping bag liner, and I'm only using this the first bit, and then maybe the last bit when we get into the last couple colder months. But yeah, I'm not gonna need this during the summertime. I sleep hot as it is, so that's just kind of like an added get through the last bit of the cold months. And I do have the Climate luxury style pillow. I do believe in having a comfortable sleep because if you're not sleeping well, you're not going to hike well the next day, and it's important to get your rest so that you're well rested for the following day's hike. Especially if some tend to put in big miles. I'm more of a bigger mile kind of guy. Next, we're going to go over my food stuff. I've had my Jetboil for going on 5 years now, and part of I don't necessarily go ultralight is I do have the BSR stove that's super tiny, but this thing's been tried and true, and I don't know, I just can't part with it. And I have my titanium long-handled spoon. Of course, to get into the food bags, so you're not putting your hands in it. Cleanliness, you may be hiking, 2,193 miles, but you can stay as clean as you can. It makes for a better trip. And for my food bag, I decided to go with the Nursac. I know the Hilltop packs, they do their DCF, and I really like that, but I do like the fact that this adds just a little bit more of a barrier for animals and bears to get into. Inside this is a bear hang kit for when I get in areas that I do need to worry about it. Other than that, with the Nursac, you can actually tie it to a tree, and for the most part, bears cannot get into it. They can't tear into the packaging. So the other bit for water is I use a 2-liter Hydro Pack with the Be-Free filter because it fits on into the top. So this works, and then I just take this and I squeeze it for clean water into my water bottle that'll be held on my pack. No problem, clean water. And then just in case this fails, because it's only this big, is I do bring iodine tablets for just in case. So that's food, water, food storage. We'll go into electronics. Another thing also, keep it really simple. It's just phone, charger, and headlamp. That's it. And so I have my cords for those. But I have the Anchor 20,000. This is actually borrowed for my twin brother, who is no longer with us. But this was his, so it's kind of nice to have something of his to take along with. And then my black diamond, I think it's 325 headlamp. Again, like I said, I'm not super ultralight, so I mean there are lighter options for headlamps, but I've had this one for a few years, and there's no need for me to just continually buy stuff that I'm already comfortable with, the stuff I'm already carrying. So as long as I stay under 30 pounds, I'm a happy camper. Generally, I can carry that weight comfortably all day, every day without an issue. And I also train with at least 30 pounds. So when I do my little training hikes, that's what I'm carrying, is at least a 30-pound pack at a minimum, usually upwards of 50. And, you know, carry up that Misery Ridge in Smith Rock. For those that know Smith Rock, Misery Ridge is not an easy hike. So that's what I generally take. Of that is a nice big heavy pack, so I'm good and ready for, you know, if I decide to do trips like this. We'll go into some of my clothing stuff for now. We'll do a hygiene kit. Is basically just I think it's Wussy wipes or something, but it's a dry tab. These little tabs, you pull one out, put some water on it, they open wide right up. They're super durable. A really good, effective wet wipe, essentially, to keep a little bit cleaner on trail. And then also I do have a garbage, like a Ziploc garbage bag that I do keep my garbage in, so there's keep with leave no trace things. And other things in here is just floss, toothpaste, hand sanitizer, toothbrush, stuff like that. All regular size stuff. This may be a smaller tube of toothpaste, but like I said, I don't go super ultralight. I'm just, you know, I'm going to carry it anyway. It's not going to bother me. With that, my TP and trowel. It comes with me all the time because I don't know, some of my good friends know I've lost many socks on runs and trail hikes because, well, didn't have anything, so that happened. My ditty bag, so it has all my little extra stuff on it. I did have like a Ride in the Rain notebook and fire starter, hand warmers, stuff like that, and I was like, that's gets to be where you get acclimated a bit. You actually don't really need the hand warmer thing, so I got rid of those. I got rid of the fire starters. I do keep a Bic lighter for, you know, just in case it ends up being lighter. But just in general, things that I keep in here, I use a picaridin insect repellent lotion. I found for me this works the best. And then sometimes I'll pick up a DEET spray. I don't like to use DEET because it melts stuff. But I've noticed this works really well for me. And then I will be putting a permethrin soak on some of my clothes prior to leaving as well. I do keep a patch kit for my tent and sleeping pad. And then I also have my Medikit. They say don't pack your fears so much, but I've been through wilderness first aid training. There are some things I will make sure to pack extra little bits just to make sure. It's kind of like a safety net for my brain, I guess. But yeah, simple thing, Benadryl, pain meds, anti-diarrhea, Neosporin, that kind of fun stuff. Bloodborne pathogen kit. Like I said, wilderness first aid. I also have a bug net, a little mini knife in there for, you know, things, tweezers and fingernail clippers. Super helpful. Now we'll get into some clothes. And then, so what I'm wearing right now is what I'll be on the trail with. I have the Patagonia Capitoline shirt. Again, I've had this for a couple of years. It's super comfy. It's lasted. So I'm like, well, let's just trash it on the AT, see how far it gets me. And then I have Viore shorts. These are really comfy. They actually come with a liner. I wasn't too sure if I was going to go with the liner or not, but it saves from having to essentially carry extra pairs of boxers and stuff. And then for my feet, I do have my Hoka recovery sandals for my camp shoes. They're a little bit heavier, you know, for the ounce counters, you know, these are almost, I want to say they're 0.8 or 0.9 of a pound. But I've had these sandals in the past and they were really comfortable, and after a long day of hiking, I would love to just slip these on and walk around or go across the stream and stuff. For my hiking shoes, of course, like many, I'm an Ultra fan. These are super comfy. I like how nimble they are for my feet. You know, they're just, I don't know, they're a great shoe. In my experience, they don't necessarily last as long, so I feel like I'll be going through 4 or 5 pairs of these for sure. But I do really enjoy these shoes, and I think they're worth it, especially if you can get online and find these for a bargain. You know, I found these for I think it was like $80 online instead of the general like 120, 130 that you would find these at. Other things for clothes is I do carry a buff. I am actually a very big buff fan. I've got, I don't know, probably a dozen or 2 of these. And I always like the fun colors and stuff. It just makes it more exciting. I do keep a beanie for, you know, you get into super cold weather, you just relax in the camp, you want to stay a little bit warm. Camp socks for sleeping, of course. I do keep base layers. I do enjoy the Mountain Hardwear base layers. I've only been using these for the last 9 months, but these are super comfy. You know, they fit me well. I'm kind of a stocky dude at, you know, barely 5'9" and 195 pounds. So wearing something tight isn't always necessarily comfortable, but this works for me so far. I'll shove these down in there. Another thing with the not so ultralight kind of deal, I did have the Outdoor Research helium jacket. They're just too, it's not strong enough for me. I like a hard shell jacket for rain. So I do have the, I believe it's the hemisphere jacket. This is actually pretty heavy for a hard shell jacket, but it's pretty bomb proof. I don't have to worry about it. I can use it to sit on. You know, I don't have to worry about this thing tearing. My helium jacket actually tore back in the pits and stuff like that. So this is a more durable jacket, and I'd rather have this than, you know, worry about a jacket that I've ripped in the past. I do carry rain pants. These are Marmot full zip rain pants. Super comfy. I only had to use them a couple times, but they work. So I'm gonna go get those. I do have rain mitts and liners, just for, you know, a little extra protection, keep your hands warm. I do know hypothermia is a thing, and I've been hypothermic before, and it's not fun. So I'd rather make sure I'm prepared for some of those things. When it gets into the warmer weather, you can still get hypothermia. I've been in hot springs and still been in the water shivering and getting hypothermic. So you know, continually people plan for their fears. I just kind of like a know my own body kind of deal. So I'd rather make sure I was a little bit warmer than not. So I'd rather just plan for that. And for my puppy jacket, I actually have the Mockbell Ignis jacket. It's definitely a little more spendy range, but this thing has been awesome, and it's rain resistant, which is kind of a big selling point, you know, for, I would say, anybody who wants a down jacket, because for the most part these are not waterproof, and I wanted one that, you know, the best that I could use, you know, given any certain situation. It's $9.50 down. It says 1,000 on it. I think it's $9.50 down. Super nice jacket. I've been wearing it all winter. It's really dirty. I don't wash it. Already got some holes in it that I've used the no-sew patch kits on. But no, it's been a great jacket. I love this thing. And yeah, so then I guess the last thing to go over is I did have some of the folding poles that break down, and I bent those, so I'm not a fan because I do use a tent that uses trekking poles to hold it up, and I've used these ones before and I found them on sale, so I was super stoked. But they're the Flash Carbon Series locking poles. They're great. Like I said, I've had a pair of these before. These just actually showed up today, so I'm pretty stoked on being able to use these again, because they're a solid pole, and at £1 for the pair, can't beat it. For guidebooks, I do have goat hooks on my phone. I found out about goat hooks when I did a 100-mile section of the PCT a couple years ago. It was great. I loved using it. It was super helpful. I had a bear encounter. I was a few miles from camp based on that app, and it was a 300 plus pound brown bear. He was big, and it was pretty cool to see him at a distance. Got his attention. Thankfully, just followed the trail down. I just kind of went down the trail, and I just kept my distance back behind him, and went to camp next to the first person I saw. It was great. It was a fun experience. The other guidebook that I use is I do have the AT guide. I bought one of these in the past just to kind of get used to it a couple of years ago. These are great. They're super informative. It was really fun to kind of just look through it and learn a little bit more about distances and how far, and just getting a general idea of, knowing the mileage I know I could put in, knowing the mountains that I hike here, and the elevation changes there aren't as drastic. So it's kind of nice that even though the PCT here is easier and the AT is harder compared to the two, I'm used to just scaling mountains. So then, just doing this all day, I don't think it's really gonna be a problem. So I'm pretty stoked to be going, and that's my gear stuff. So, and then how about we give it a little away and see what happens. I stuffed everything in. A lot of this stuff will actually be on the outside too. So it won't be so packed on the inside of this bad boy. And I am starting the trail with my Tonka hat. I do have a trail name back here at home. It is Tonka. I love bison. They're great. And I've been wearing one of these Tonka hats for years, so that became a thing. But on the AT, I'm not going to take a trail name. I'm not going to bring my trail name. I'll see what happens and see if I get something else while I'm out there, just for the experience of it. Okay, we're at 0. Let's find out how much this big boy weighs. Try not to step on it. All right, we are at 17.7, so definitely not ultralight by any means. So given all my food, water, stove, stuff like that, I'll be around that 30-pound range, which is comfortable for me, and that works. So there's that. We'll go over a couple questions that I got from a few of my friends here at home. Why the AT? Why not the PCT? The main answer for that is because I live here in Oregon, Bend, Oregon. And, living here locally, I've hiked a lot here. And so I kind of know the general area. Like, I pretty much know what to expect when it comes to weather and, all those things. And I want to experience something different. So then why not go to the East Coast and check out the Appalachian Trail and just really have a good go at a long distance trail and just, enjoy the experience, just head out there and figure it out. What did I do to prepare? Like I said earlier, so I generally hike with a 30-pound pack, which will be what this will be, with everything in it. So that's a normal weight for me. So I'm pretty much prepared for that. I can hike all day with that pack and it doesn't bother me. Am I foraging for food? No. I'll be going to trail into towns, just like majority, and picking up boxes or resupplying back in the towns for my resupplies at stores. Will I be filming? Not that much. So I'm not a big vlogger, as you can tell. I'm kind of spotty doing this already. I don't enjoy being in front of the camera, but and I have a bit of a speech impediment. I do have a stutter sometimes. So the answer is yes, I will be filming, but it's going to be like updates and just keeping my friends and family back at home informed, what's going on and how's it going, and then, I will go over mileage, awesome things I do. I do take great pictures, and the phone that I use is the S20, and it's phenomenal. I didn't want to buy a camera, and this was kind of like the next best thing. So that my phone works for me, and so I'm just doing my filming and stuff through this, and updating on the YouTube channel, which I will link in somehow because I got to figure all that stuff out. Like I said, I'm not used to this. The funny questions, of course. Well, where do you use the bathroom? Well, you just kind of go back there, away from everybody else, and you just go to the bathroom. Kind of like what I do here. Just dig a hole. Make sure. The biggest pet peeve is when I go out on places and people just leave their mess on the fourth floor. I think it's disgusting. And I joke around and I call myself feral, but at least I put it someplace where nobody's gonna step in it, or heaven forbid slip in it and just have a bad day. So I already went over my base weight. The AT is 2,193 miles this year. It has a variance to it because sometimes they reroute and they change some things, but it's generally around 2,200 miles, give or take. So this year it's taking about 7. But if you think about it, you're going to do well more than 2,200 with all the extra miles from hitchhiking back into town to get resupply and coming back out and getting started again. Logistics. So I was asked about logistics. What do you do with everything? How things necessarily plan out. The thing is, I'm kind of winging it. I really just want to have the get out there and experience it for what it is. And I know it's not the best plan, but it's one of the most well-known trails in the world, and so there's not a whole lot to worry about that I feel. I've been reading books about this place for years, and the want to go out there and hike this thing just gets bigger and bigger, and it's been postponed a few years. Just life happens. It really does, and just sometimes there's huge setbacks, but if you have something you really want to do, you'll figure it out and how to get out there. And when I get out there, I know that, with the guidebooks, you can generally be informed and how to get places and how long it's going to take if you know your mileage already. I basically already know my mileage. I can do anywhere between 12 to 20 miles in a day, based on just knowing how I feel. And so that works for me. I'm just like, okay, well, I'll go out and my first thing is I want to get to Hawk Mountain Shelter, my first day, which is around 15-ish miles. I can do that. That's not a problem. It's not going to bother me. I'm not going to be killing myself the next day. If I push 20 my first day or first few days, as I've done to myself in the past, I know I'll be hurting. But 15, that's fine. You get to the Neal's Gap is like kind of your first, resupply. You figure out your food. I'm gonna have to learn how to learn the diet, the trail diet. I've already been looking up the recipes and the cool things you can make, and keeping it super simple, but making sure you're getting your calories, your carbs, your fats, your carbs, fats. Anyways, watching this video is gonna kill me. That knows what all this, but anyway, yeah, I'll be making sure I get all my intake. I might even be using the vitamin supplement. I'll be checking that out the next couple of days. Yeah, so it's just make sure I get enough food, water. So basically, the Gut Hooks app will kind of let you know like where the water is and how far it is from where you're at, and you can generally be informed on if there's water or not, and then you camel up in the morning. You just make sure you have enough throughout your day. I'll carry about 1 liter basically. If there's a longer stretch, I might fill up my 2 liter. And then on top of my 1 liter water bottle and go that route. But yeah, all right, well, so spotty information, but that's generally, my life and for the next 6 months. I planned for at least, October 1st, so exactly 6 months. I leave on the Leave Tuesday the 30th. I start my official day on April 1st. It's not really a joke. It's a real thing. And I'm very much looking forward to it. Nervous, excited, scared. You know, it's like you get to figure it out as you go and really enjoy the experience. Super stoked on that. And, you know, it's just, sometimes you just have to not let the fear and just, I don't know. I'm already an adrenaline junkie. Like, I love to bungee jump and, I don't know. I've done MMA. I've done, different sports and downhill mountain biking, all these things. It's just, life is fun if you want it to be fun. And, it scares me to be able to go for 6 months, just go live in the woods and figure it out, as I go, mapping it along. Like, how long is it going to take to get me here? Like, how many days of food, making sure I have just enough to get me to where I'm going without having to carry too much extra, so that, this beast isn't going to be any more heavier than it already is. And I don't know, there's a lot to figure out, and I can't wait to do it. But yeah, so anyway, Aaron Tippler, Tippler's Travels, hashtag Tippler's Travels. You can see my pictures on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. I'll figure out how to link that. I'll have this loaded up to Facebook. I guess I will